Maybe you've learned to hide, to smile even when all you want is to run away, to agree in silence so you don't draw attention. And behind that behavior, there's something not everyone understands, a fear that paralyzes you, a voice that whispers you're not good enough, and you believe it. Because that fear has grown stronger over time until it became an invisible cycle that traps you. You avoid meetings. You stutter when trying to ask for something simple. Your body shakes, sweat runs down, your heart races. It's not drama, it's real, and no one sees it. That's what makes it even harder. You feel like you have to deal with all of this alone, and maybe you've even thought something is wrong with you. But the truth is, there isn't. What exists is an unhealed emotional wound, and it needs to be treated with care, not guilt. Social anxiety manifests as a distorted survival instinct. Your brain is trying to protect you from something that isn't always a real threat, like criticism, a glance, or an opinion. This excessive protection was built from past experiences, silent traumas, harsh words you heard, and the loneliness you felt along the way. You didn't shut down because you're weak, but because you were deeply hurt. But now, the time has come to shift from survival mode to existence mode. There is no magic cure, no ready-made formula. But there is a path. And that path begins when you understand you no longer need to protect yourself from life. You need to learn how to reconnect with it and with yourself. You can start with your breath. I know it may seem too simple, but don't underestimate the power of conscious breathing. Social anxiety traps you in a constant state of alert. Breathe in deeply, count to 4, hold for 4, and exhale slowly for 6. Do this 5 times in a row. Your nervous system needs to know it's now safe to be present. And you are the one who will teach it that. The next step is to observe your thoughts. You are not shy, stupid, or weird. You just believe those things for so long that they started to feel true. Every time you hear that voice putting you down, pause. Breathe and say, that voice is not me. It's just an old defense trying to keep me small. Over time, this phrase becomes an anchor, a bridge to a new self. Yes, it's scary to imagine leaving the house, talking to someone new, or even looking someone in the eye. But you won't start by facing a crowd. You'll start by facing the mirror. Look into your own eyes. Breathe. Say out loud, I am here, and I am enough. Say it every day. At first, it may feel like a lie, but later it begins to heal. You need to understand that your mind was trained to protect you by rejecting the world. What you lack is not courage. It's reprogramming. Gradual exposure is one of the most effective techniques that exist, but it must be done with compassion. You start with small, safe situations. You talk to the cashier at the pharmacy, then to a neighbor, then to a colleague, and you celebrate each step. Every single one, don't minimize your progress. For someone with social anxiety, saying good morning is an act of heroism. And you need to start seeing yourself as the hero of your own journey. Because that's exactly what you're doing, facing an invisible, silent, and deep enemy that has been with you for years. And if at some point you fail, because you will, it's okay. Failure is not a setback. It's part of the healing. No scar fades without pain. But every time you try, even while afraid, you are saying, I won't give up. And that is greater than any crisis. What will change your life is not the end of anxiety, but your ability to move forward even with it still there. It's being able to say, I feel afraid, but I choose to go anyway. That is called courage. And it is born when you stop fighting fear and start walking alongside it. You don't need to expose yourself to the world's judgment all at once. First, expose yourself to love. Give yourself what you've always expected from others, acceptance. Don't wait for someone to tell you you're interesting to believe it. Start telling yourself every single day, even if it feels uncomfortable. You must be your own source of worth. You think the problem is how others see you, but what really hurts is the way you've learned to see yourself. Change that. Replace criticism with curiosity. Instead of asking, why am I like this? Ask, what can I learn from this now? Start writing down your emotions. Every day, write what you felt, what you thought, what you did even while afraid. This will give you clarity, and clarity brings power. A notebook, a pen, and the courage to look inward are stronger tools than many medications. They return authorship of your story to you. Yes, there are people who will judge you, but most are so caught up in their own world that they don't even notice you. Social anxiety makes you believe that everyone is against you, when in truth the greatest battle is happening inside you. Free yourself from the illusion that you need to please. You only need to allow yourself to be. Remember that every human being is seeking to feel safe, loved, and seen. You are no different. Your fear is simply a call for safety. And you are the one who can provide that to yourself now, with patience, with care, with daily repetition. And finally, believe this: life beyond anxiety is quieter, lighter, and more beautiful. You will laugh freely again. You will join conversations without feeling guilty afterward. You will feel comfortable in your own skin without needing to hide. But for that to happen, you must begin today, even afraid. Even slowly, because there's no shame in feeling what you feel. Shame is pretending it doesn't hurt and continuing to live a life that is not yours. Social anxiety made you believe you had to stay silent. But now it's time to reclaim your voice, your body, your presence in the world. You no longer need to suffer in silence. And yes, you can take back control of your life. Have you noticed how even in silence, your mind is noisy? It's like there's a constant narration inside you, anticipating failures, rejections, and disasters that never actually happen. Social anxiety creates this imaginary scenario where everything you say will be mocked or judged. And the worst part is that even though you know it's not real, it still feels like it is. That constant feeling of being watched, as if every movement is being analyzed, it's exhausting. Sometimes just the thought of having to interact already wears you out before you even leave the house. It's like living inside a heavy suit of armor, trying to protect yourself from something invisible. But you weren't born wearing this armor. It was placed on you little by little, and now little by little it can be removed. You carry memories of moments when you felt exposed, ridiculed, or simply ignored. And those memories are alive, pulsing within you as if they happened yesterday. Social anxiety feeds on those memories and on the fear that it will all happen again. But what if I told you that you can give new meaning to what you lived through, that your pain can become strength? There's a turning point that happens when you realize you no longer need to run. Running only reinforces fear's power. Facing it with love, that's what transforms. And love here doesn't mean romance. It means presence. It means strength. It means saying, I'm here for you even if no one else is. Say that to yourself. You will be your safest presence. When you start making peace with your own presence, the world stops feeling so threatening. People are still people, but you begin to change how you position yourself around them. And then something magical starts to happen. The eyes that once terrified you begin to meet yours. And you discover that being seen can feel light. It can feel good. One of the biggest saboteurs of healing from social anxiety is perfectionism. You think you need to know exactly what to say, how to act, how to behave. But spontaneity is what creates real connection. People connect with what is human, not what is flawless. When you allow yourself to make mistakes, you allow yourself to truly exist. The confidence you long for won't come before action. It comes after. Confidence is not about waiting to be sure, it's choosing to move forward even with doubt. Confidence is built through practice, and that takes risk, presence, and courage. But above all, it takes patience with your pace, your limits, and your victories, no matter how small they seem. Pay attention to your body's signals. The dry throat, shaky voice, sweaty hands. They're just false alarms from an overactive system. Don't fight your body, embrace it. Place your hand over your chest, breathe slowly, and say, I am safe now. Repeat it until your body starts to believe you. Over time, it learns. Because the body can unlearn fear too. You don't have to be extroverted. You don't need to be the center of attention. You just need to allow yourself to exist without disappearing. There is beauty in silence, but not in the silence forced by pain. There is value in being introspective, as long as it's not used to hide. You have the right to take up space, even if quietly. And if someone asks, why are you so quiet? Smile, don't be ashamed of your nature. Responding with something simple like, I like to observe before I speak is already an act of self-sovereignty. You are not obligated to fit into social patterns. Your presence has value on its own, even if you don't speak much. And you deserve respect for that. Try to see every uncomfortable situation as a lab, a training ground, not a final exam. There is no failure here, only learning. With each new interaction, you build experience. You learn what works, what doesn't, and how to adjust. Anxiety begins to fade when you start understanding the game instead of just trying to survive it. Have you ever imagined what your life would be like without this weight on your shoulders? The lightness of entering a space and just Being there without overthinking, without cold sweats, without knots in your stomach, that life isn't far. It begins to grow inside you each time you say yes to yourself and no to fear. If you can imagine it, you can create it. Visualization is a powerful tool. Close your eyes and picture yourself in a social situation. Visualize yourself calm, grounded, smiling. See yourself being welcomed, respected, heard. Do this for 2 minutes every day. Your brain doesn't know the difference between imagined and real, and that can work in your favor. Have an emotional anchoring ritual before facing challenging situations. It could be listening to a specific song, wearing clothes that make you feel good, smelling essential oil, or holding a comforting object. Small gestures create emotional safety. They remind you that you're not helpless, you're prepared. Comparison is another silent enemy. You look at others and think they're confident, relaxed, effortlessly social, but what you're seeing is only the surface. Everyone is struggling with something. You are not the only one who feels fear. You are just one of the few with the courage to admit it and seek change. When you begin expressing yourself, it might feel awkward. The words might come out wrong. That's okay. It's like learning a new language. At first, it's clumsy. But with time, you find your voice. And that voice, the one you've been silencing for years, has so much to say, so much to teach. So much to transform. Avoid spaces that feed your fear. Social media, for example, can be a trap if used for comparison and validation. Use it as a tool for inspiration, not self-judgment. Choose carefully who you listen to, who you surround yourself with, and what kind of energy you absorb. All of that affects your mind more than you realize. If at any moment you feel the urge to cry, cry. The tears that come with anxiety aren't a sign of weakness. They are a release. Don't silence them. Don't swallow them. Don't fake it. Every tear that falls is a fear leaving. A scream that didn't turn into trauma. A step toward your freedom. You'll start to notice that the more you allow yourself to feel, the less it hurts. What destroys you isn't the emotion, it's the repression. Feeling is healing. Running away is a cage. Every time you comfort yourself instead of punishing yourself, you're breaking ancestral chains of silence and suffering. You're doing what no one ever did for you, listening to yourself with love. Don't wait to be healed to start living. Healing happens along the way, not before it. Social anxiety isn't a block to your growth. It might actually be the very thing that pushes you to become who you were meant to be. Because in the process of rebuilding yourself, you uncover the truest version of who you are. Thank you for staying with me until the end. If you've made it this far, something inside you is ready to change. And that in itself is a huge step. Your effort, your attention, your courage to face all this, none of it goes unnoticed. I see you. And I deeply wish for your healing and inner peace. If this message touched your heart in any way, I invite you to leave a comment below. Tell me what spoke to you the most today. I want to hear from you. And if you know someone who suffers in silence from social anxiety, please share this with them. Sometimes a single word can save someone from the edge. This channel is a safe space for anyone seeking self-knowledge, healing, and real transformation. So click subscribe and turn on the notification bell. That way, I'll be notified every time a new video is released, and I'll be here, on the other side, waiting with more content created just for you. Stay tuned because the next videos will go even deeper on this path of liberation and reconnection with who you truly are. You deserve to live with lightness, presence, and confidence. Thank you for letting me walk a little bit of this journey with you today. See you soon.